All right, okay, so it's a Dancast. Yes, a Dancast. I'm out in the field right now. I'm working, and then in this case, I am the field reporter for the Talking Hedge, your cannabis business podcast. I spend most of my time working in the basically the investment space, where people are moving large capital moves, I guess, moving around a lot of money. So if you're moving 7 or 8 or, geez, these days 9 figures, what's the value of some better information and all of that? So, in this case, I have some questions about video production, marketing, advertising and such. So I'm going to dial up my homie, Kerri Accardi. Let's see if she's got a few minutes for us, and we'll see if we can do some learning on the Talking Hedge, your cannabis business podcast.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is this Kerri?
How are you?
Is this Kerri Accardi?
This is Kerri Accardi. Is this Dan Kemmis?
It is. I dig it. Hey, you should know I'm recording right now.
Okay, awesome. Hi, recording.
Yeah. So I'm in the field. I was just telling a story about basically how when you need to know, basically, one of the things that I do is I pick up the phone, right? So if you've got a couple minutes, I wanted to just chat with you a little bit and kind of do some work on the Talking Hedge, your cannabis business podcast, and do a little learning about marketing and advertising and state of the cannabis market. Can you take a few minutes for us?
I think that's a great idea.
I dig it. Hey, for the record, what's your name?
My name is Kerri Accardi.
And then, Kerri Accardi, what do you do?
I am the founder of 420 Media, and I'm an executive producer of digital content, marketing, paid advertising, and other stuff in the cannabis space. I guess that was a good question. I had to think about that.
Right.
Well, what do I do again? What do I do again?
Well, and this is the thing. I mean, I think it's fair to say you're tenured, right? I mean, how long you been? So 420 Media. I mean, I remember when I first got in 5 years ago. Okay, so it's like, okay, 420 Media. How long you been around, and what all have you done over the last little bit?
Yeah, so that's such a crazy thing. Today is actually an anniversary of when I was in the hospital 7 years ago with my Aunt Kathy, and Paul Simon came to visit her. So she passed away October 2nd. I left December 10th, New York City, on a mission to educate the world about cannabis, because I didn't think she had to die like she did, and I didn't think she had the proper information out there about cannabis and all the medicinal properties. So,
so that was 7 years ago?
That was 7 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Well, first
7 years, let me say, maybe it was 6, I'm wrong, it was 6 years ago. It was 2013. So
still
6 years.
I mean, first, of course, right, we all have a mission, right? And then second, that whole thing of, so you've been at this for 6 years, so you are qualified. I mean, again, this is the thing. Like one of the things that's interesting about this industry is you have a lot of people who would tell you they know, but they don't necessarily know, right? So finding people...
That's correct.
Yep, finding people that actually know is always interesting. So, okay, so, all right, so first, in a nutshell, so Kerri Accardi, so what's your relationship with the plant? Do you love the plant?
My whole life is involved with the plant. Yes. So I've been a user since I was about 12 years old. Pretty consistently had stomach issues, would use it for just different issues. I was self-medicating, but didn't realize I was self-medicating, but kind of realized it because I loved it. And so I would smoke a joint and go run 5 miles or go do yoga and go do, just activity. And I grew up around alcoholism, and I knew that was different.
Right.
And so the comparison made no sense to me. And so I have a long-standing relationship with the plant. And then when I went on a journey of digging deeper and really found out about our endocannabinoid system and about our receptors and about the patent on cannabis and about the history, it really just opened up my eyes. And then when you start seeing people heal, it was just other level. So, back in 2013, I was one of those people that watched a woman by the name of Shona Banda heal herself by trying to make, by making cannabis oil in an old school vaporizer. And so I tried to do that. And that was a real story. It is a real story. And I was one of those people that was seeking any information about the plant. And it wasn't there. And now what's interesting is now it's there, but it's not real truthful per se, or people don't know the difference, or now they know, they think they know, but they really don't know. And so there's a lot of confusion, you know, from 6 years ago, no one knew anything. I'm talking about the East Coast at the time. And then all of a sudden now everybody everywhere knows everything, right? Or they're selling CBD, or they're brokering CBD, or, you know, it's a wild, it's a wild journey right now. And I think that as one of those people that was seeking the knowledge, I take it pretty seriously. And I think it's really important that, you know, the truth is out there and the clarity about the plant and the different, you know, delivery mechanisms and uses and you know, good and if there isn't good, whatever those are.
Right,
you know?
Right. Well, you know, that whole thing of like CBD activewear, right? It's like, yeah, no, okay. And at the same time, you know, what's funny about, so curating information, right? Because you could make a case for saying, you know, we're inundated in information, but in the end, you know, the difference between good information, bad information, the best information. This is part of why I'm calling you, is because I figure you're part of the best information.
Well, thank you. I feel like personally I am fortunate to have some of the best information because I have really awesome relationships with people. As business and industry, I know we're working on it with 420 Media and you know, capturing content and getting ready to you know, launch a network eventually, is to get this information out. But the reality is I don't, you know, as someone who's 6 years in, I still don't see the reliable sources for not only information, but active. What do we do with that information? And so I find myself in that issue a lot lately is, you know, great, now that I know this plant can help so many people and I've witnessed it, where do you get it? How do you get it? It all depends on the state. How much does it cost? You know, there's a lot of variables in this that are much more complicated than I think people realize, and yet they're experts, right? And so it's really interesting, Dan, to be honest. And I think it's just, you know, it's putting these conversations out, and definitely bringing the brands and the products out themselves. I like the transparency.
Yeah.
You know, I like letting people go and, you know, look at those websites or look at those products and services or try them and, you know, get some feedback. And CBD is definitely working for people. So I don't want to knock anything about the plant in any way. But my concern is like the ones that are the umbrella that is being put over CBD or cannabis for that matter. And it's really interesting.
Oh, you know.
And then they won't let us put the real. I just had a conversation on Facebook. I mean, on LinkedIn today, and there's a lot of misinformation out always. News sensationalizes bad information, as we're watching with the vape epidemic right now.
Right.
And we're not putting balanced information out, right? We're not putting truth out. And I know as someone who has had high level agreements with TV stations, CBS, Con4, Spectrum, different networks, that they actually are blocking the information. They actually are not putting it out on purpose. And so that's some serious stuff. And then now we have all sorts of really great opportunities of people that are putting it out and alternative networks, which is, you know, the fun part of what 420 is doing now.
Well, you know, this is, so the complexities first of, you know, an emergent market, and then one that needs, because in the end, distribution. That's what we were talking about today. So Chronic and I were doing a part of our daily cast, and again the common theme of, okay, great, you got the farm, you got the store, you got the customer. Will they all ever be in alignment, right? And all of that. But this brings me around. So, okay, from a
and let's just be like realistic. We're all operating in an illegal market federally.
Right? Yes.
Everyone who's engaged in cannabis, right? And so, it's just kudos to anyone in this industry, to be honest with you, that keeps persevering and pushing, because I get it. I do it, and I get it and believe in it. But it's not easy. People don't understand what it's like when you don't have banking and you have money, or you don't have security and you have a lot of money, and you don't, and even like regulations, you have people that are making the rules. I mean, actually, I watched Washington essentially decimate itself in what could have been a flourishing community and state, not only with the businesses, but also with the home grows and people having their freedom for the plant. Right? So we should all be able to grow. Everyone everywhere should be able to grow. If they want to juice their plant, they want to make a topical, whatever. Who cares? Let them do it.
I can't really think of anything else I'm not really allowed to grow that I want to, right? I mean,
right.
It's funny. I did, I do a lot of time on the ground in Washington and Oregon, and one of the things that is kind of a sad reality is, the way I'd put it is, the shine is off in Washington. If you're in cannabis now, you've come to realize that it's a grind, right?
But it's not just Washington, it's Oregon. And it's not just Oregon. California's having a really hard time right now. I was just up in Humboldt for a few weeks, and, it's sad, to be honest with you. I mean, there's families that have been using cannabis, growing cannabis as this flourishing business, and, while we're going legal, we're regressing.
Right.
Let alone the original conversation, which is marketing. That's such an interesting thing. Everyone's worried they're getting their licenses and they're getting their farms and they're getting all this stuff. But yet, now what? Now what? You have all your product. Now what? Where do you go?
Right.
Right. And so California is dealing with, you got to pay for shelf space. I don't know if you heard about this. It could get pretty pricey too. And that's not an abnormal thing for business, as you probably know. I mean, I remember that back in the day with liquor companies were paying for shelf space, or supermarkets. It's a pay to play, and so it's interesting, and makes it even more important for marketing and for these brands to get themselves out there. Because at the end of the day, I think there's really great opportunity, even in the dark, even in the stuff. At the end of the day, it is about the people, right? We have this awesome plant. I was just in the Caribbean talking about, they're going into legalization, and here we have these three industries now through the Farm Bill with CBD and hemp and cannabis, and then we have innovation, hemp houses, hempcrete, building. We have CBD. CBD's, helping seniors, helping athletes, helping a lot of mothers, helping a lot of people. Then awesome, let's do it. And if you can make a business out of it, awesome. We live in America. We got to make money. I mean, we don't walk into Starbucks and say, "Hey, let me get a coffee,"
right,
and they're like, "Okay,
right.
Here you go." You know what I mean? So.
So, question for you. So you're everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the
everywhere.
Caribbean, you're in Cali, you're in Oregon, you're up in Washington. Okay, so how, you mean, out selling stuff, doing projects? What's the story? How do you get around?
Well, they're different, mostly projects at this point. So I was in the Caribbean producing the first cannabis educational conference with the Commissioner of Agriculture, Positive Nelson. And then I was in Los Angeles for a friend of mine who passed away, so we had to go to his life celebration party.
Sure.
And again, someone that should be here, and the plant could have helped, but
yeah, I got some of those.
It's not an option yet.
Yep.
So I was in Humboldt, checking out some business opportunities up there, and always documenting and networking. And then Oregon for the Cannabis Science Conference with Josh.
I dig that. That was a good thing.
That was super fun. I'm looking for where we're gonna build have our headquarters
Ooh.
soon. So I'm doing a little travel in the figuring that.
I
while
might
working.
I might have some spare space in the RV. Put you upstairs, or put you in, put you on the balcony there.
Do you have a balcony in your RV?
We'll see. I'm just being funny.
That would be fun.
Well, so I'm feeling smarter, but now I want to get to some stuff that's kind of, we'll say, of the moment. You got a couple more minutes?
Yeah.
Neat. Okay. So, all right, let's say I was a cannabis company. Geez, I got a brand new branded, it's Dan's Weed, right? And now, I mean, advertising that is a pain in the ass if I don't have Kerri Accardi in my corner. I
think so.
Right, so how does that work, and how do you help?
So 420 Media works with brands on their digital strategy, content creation, and distribution. We've worked really hard right now, Dan, on getting distribution outlets for the cannabis space. So
you mean I can't just call somebody up and say, play my weed commercial? How come?
You can try. you can definitely try. You could try, but I bet you have to try to find the phone number first.
Sure, right.
Right, and so network matters when it comes to a lot of things like this. So I feel really, fortunate in this, and this is the lane I play well in. So it's my background, but right now, actually, Dan, we have I think we have the most advertising options for cannabis brands. Yesterday, we have a commercial running. We have commercials running on OTT streaming networks right now. We can hyper target through data. Specifics. We want pet owners within XYZ zip code that make $60,000 a year, own a house or whatever, right? Super hyper targeted, and they're running commercials in programming that our market is watching. So they're only running 8 commercials an hour right now. We have an awesome commercial running in LA. Just saw the dashboard. We're getting a 97% view rate, which is amazing.
Wow.
And and the stations are great. And she's getting to run. She's got a retail store, and she gets to run within 8 miles of her store. And so what that's good for, especially is right now for like medical or dispensaries,
sure,
clinics, attorneys, etc., is, we have radio too, but in California, no one's going to drive from Santa Monica to like the Valley for a CBD product.
No.
That's just not really going to happen. So to hyper target it and get it within those zip codes. And then yesterday we got approved for the same thing through audio. And so now we have different audio from, Pandora, iHeart, Scripps, Bloomberg, etc., that we can do the same thing. And so it's, instead of the streaming on the TV, they're running it through, we're listening to our audio,
so
working out or whatnot.
So, Kerri, I would assume
super cool.
I would assume there are a lot of restrictions. I mean, so the whole thing of like, yeah, you can't show Dan burning a giant blunt, in a hot tub, right? Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I mean, really, I guess I'll answer my own question. How I figure that stuff out is I call you, right? Because I say to you, okay, I want to be on TV within 8 miles of my store because I want to be a neighborhood store. I want to have customers. Mm-hmm. And then you help me navigate that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's rules. And there's creative, right? We don't want to, you get told to take pills that are going to give you a heart attack or a stroke, etc., and you don't see people popping pills on these commercials.
Right.
So why would we have to do that? Again, why are we thinking so differently with cannabis than we do about anything else? right? So we have to be creative. And, for us, is we can have commercials, anything that, depending on what the spend is. I have one of our offers is giving a free commercial with a minimum spend.
Wow.
Or you can step up, and we have people that have put, award-winning campaigns on television that can help create the messaging. And what the real goal is, yesterday we just got stuff in, oh my goodness, we just got awesome advertising in Las Vegas.
Nice.
And so, again, these are a really big deal for brands because this is what brands do.
Well,
so it's great for cannabis now that we can do it.
I mean, okay, so we'll sidetrack for just a sec. I characterize it kind of like Highlander, right? I mean, certainly there will be more than one brand, but there's not going to be 300 brands, right? In the end, there's going to be some brands, and the only way you can be one of those some brands is either be a winner or be, mergered and acquired, or you're going to lose. So you got to be, it's the whole thing of like, well, I really don't have a choice. I have to call Kerri Accardi. I have to advertise. I have to grow my brand, or I'm just going to get eaten by a different fish. Would you consider that? Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, of course. We can have the best of any product, but if someone doesn't know about you, then what does that bring?
Sure.
This is just common sense. So again, we don't need to go too deep into some of this stuff. It's been existing. We can turn the TV on. We can turn the phone on. You can turn your, I'm just saying, like for us is, hey, you guys, hey, cannabis, CBD products, hey, brands, you ready to do this now? Are you ready to be the commercials that are running in those series?
Right.
Is it ready for you? Are you ready to be on the Pandora or on the iHeart or on the TV here? Are you ready to be in the billboard? Are you ready to be in, all these different mediums? How ready are you? And what's really great is it's super cost effective. I mean, I just got some of the radio stuff we have. We can start at under $1,000 a month. I mean,
that's
this
insane.
Is just like there is like no reason for people that really have any brand not to get involved. I just this morning put out an opportunity for brands that want to reach the Caribbean for $250 because we have our content from the expo that we did with all the stellar panels and events. So we're having it put in, it's digital, and I'm like, how can we help streamline this process? Oh, look, we can have the brands spend a little money. What is $250 for 4 months or whatever? It's something like that. And you get to put your brand right next to the panels or in this new regulating market. And then the transparency. If they see, Dan Kemmis brand and they click, they can go to your website and go check out that for themselves. And so it's really about instead of people having to watch the panels and go, oh, we're so excited about the grow and all this stuff. Now what? What are they going to Google lights? Are they going to Google CBD products? So it's really just about streamlining it, helping the brands as well as the new process of going into legalization. And so, I mean, if we and it's a great idea actually, to just get these people get in front of the face. I mean, we have 3 of our sponsors. One, Kat Bonsack has Topical Whey is on shelves in the Virgin Islands. She was shouted out on the radio out there for the healing of one of the radio shows hosts put it on his knee, the cream, and he totally shouted her out in Topical Whey on air.
I dig it.
So, I mean, these are brand new markets too, Dan. It's completely the opposite of Washington. And so that's the thing is, people, we need to, get out of your own way. Let's take this knowledge and this plant. Let's grow it. But let's align, and, you got to get your marketing out there. You got it, or help others or whatnot.
Well,
there are only going to be a few brands. It's just life.
This was one of the themes that Chronic and I keep bumping into is that, look, cannabis business isn't special. Cannabis business is business. So what applies in business most likely applies in cannabis. And again, no advertising, no customers, no brand awareness, no retention. All of the things that go with that stuff. So now, okay, so let's say that I found myself listening to this and I'm like, oh, wow, Dan's right. She is smart. Okay, geez, she does know the no. Okay.
Yay!
So so what? Do I just Google 420 Media? How do I find you?
Yeah, so 420media.us is our website. Kerri Accardi is my name. You can Google me. We have a few pages up now. I like to Google myself every once in a while, see what's coming up.
Right,
and,
right. Find out what they say.
Social, I think it's at 420_media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're all over, really. Working on an awesome conference now with the Women of Cannabis in Las Vegas that's coming up. That's going to be another, again, marketing opportunity, right? How do you reach brands? Well, let's see. There's 40,000 people coming into town. There's a women-focused event. Although men are welcome, it's women-focused. Do you have a product that is trying to reach a woman? Well, if you do,
oh, yeah.
I would think this might be a great opportunity for you to have your product and you can sell it. So, people need that. That's it, right? It's just thinking and not going, nah, not waiting. Just going, okay, and we're going to do it. Make a plan. And that's why we work on strategy first, and this is a big deal too. People think it's not about a one-off. It's not about one commercial. It's not about one airing. It's not about one interview. That can help you and that can put you on the map, but you got to stay there, and you have to be consistently putting stuff out there, right? And so thinking about it before is, what is your strategy? Are you just trying to bring your brand awareness? Are you trying to get sales? Do you have a call to action? So here's some, free consulting for the listeners here. These are really important things to think about. What are your goals and objectives? Because if you can stay within the goals and objectives, within your budget, be fair to yourself. Don't do anything for less than 3 months, because it's not fair to anyone to not build upon it.
Right.
And then, based in that strategy, and this is exactly what 420 does, is we build the content. Is it a social media campaign? Well, that's going to be different than, is it a commercial, or is it a billboard, or is it, a product placement in a series? Or are we doing all of the above? And then again, it goes into, okay, well, who do we need to put those pieces together based on that budget?
So if I needed a cohesive strategy and I was willing to, actually look at having a real budget, a legitimate budget, then I come find Kerri Accardi, and the next thing you know, I have a cohesive strategy.
Media.
Right. And I'm and I'm selling product.
Oh yeah, honestly, I'm super, super, super excited about this streaming TV, awesome stations. We have awesome audio, and we have opportunities across the board in billboards, publishers, magazines, podcasts, events. So yeah, I think people should definitely call 420 Media if we're looking for distribution. And yeah, sure, if you want a digital strategy and really want a brand, let's go. Cool. I mean, I think this is the time for sure. And we got great events coming up. And now again, events are a dime a dozen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there are literally a few. There's an event going on, a huge event. I actually just talked to Denver. The Hall of Flowers, I think, yeah. Huge event in California, up in Santa Rosa. And then I think there was another event in Denver the other day. There's another event in Denver tomorrow. I think it's the high tea. Is that Mother's High Tea? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so, yes.
They wear the hats. Yeah, and so, again, how do you stand out?
Right. Well, so, okay. Last big question for you today, because now my head's full. You got me thinking, okay?
I know, good.
So, all right. So the Talking Hedge, your cannabis business podcast, basically we report to people who are moving 7 and 8 figures around. Maybe once in a while they'll go dig deep and move 9, okay? So if I'm somebody moving a lot of capital around, why do I care about 420 Media? Why do I want to know you?
Well, we know everybody. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you do, though. That's one of the things that, that's part of the
do.
answer right there, is because, again, anybody you need to know, you can find out about, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I have a big network. Absolutely. And that's a personal, and it's becoming a 420 Media service for sure. There's a real value in that. So, 6-figure, 7-figure, 8, 9, 10. What are you looking for? What do you want to do? I think is important. My vested interest initially is, again, that I left New York on a mission to educate the world about cannabis, right? So there's an underlying goal for me, and companies have been and are being created upon that goal. But we have a long way to get to that goal, and we need 6, 7, 8 figures in here. But we don't want them in here without the proper knowledge.
Right.
We don't want them in here throwing their money out. I've seen a lot of people just waste, lose hundreds of thousands of dollars on so-called experts, and I don't think that's fair to anybody.
No.
And I don't think it benefits anyone. So I think that, reaching out to us is good. Plus, we're going to be going for funding soon. So I know that there's people of interest that will want to get involved in what we're doing and what we've put together and have amassed over the past 5 years. So we're good for that, too. Those are going to be the 7. I like the 7 numbers.
Right.
1,
right.
2, 3, yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah. It's funny, when I came in 5 years ago, 5 and 6 figures, 6 figures were considered a big win. And, Chronic and I, in the daily cast now, we quite consistently are talking about 7 and 8 figure moves where, again, this is, as I head to California, one of the things that I find intriguing is, again, this chaos creates opportunity. It creates, really honestly, it validates having Kerri Accardi's phone number, right? I mean, it really does. And then it's also, let's face it, it makes good content. Some of it's hard, some of it's sad, but it really is. It's compelling, gripping content. So.
Yeah, for sure. It really is. I think it's important to get out there. I think it's interesting. And the cool thing about cannabis is it really it affects all of our lives if we let it. Or it affects us even if we don't let it.
Yeah.
By laws. But really, the opportunity is so tremendous. I don't think people should be sleeping on this, and especially when we're talking about like hemp and hempcrete and hemp homes, and we're all going through all these different storms nowadays, and different pollutions and different diseases and stuff. And here we have this plant that can literally help you from oxygen. The environment, to building homes that are protected,
right.
to feeding us, to clothing us.
Right.
And so, what comes with that is the innovation. It's like the computer, right? There's just so much. And when they were doing the computer back in the olden days, right? When not olden days, but olden days for computer,
right.
They weren't talking about Facebook.
No, right.
But
hey, look, we can do math.
And look at how many home businesses have been developed because of that internet.
Right.
Look how many people have made money and connected. And so I think that in the cannabis space, I think most importantly is the education, and that's where thank you for having me on, and why podcast and marketing and advertising and getting this information out however we can. We're not even in. What I've seen in this industry is you're my competitor, you're my competition. No, actually we're not, because it's still federally illegal.
Right.
Number one. Right. And so let's wait until it's not. And it's like TV stations. Not everyone's going to watch Fox News. Not everyone's going to watch ET. Not everyone's going to watch ESPN. Right. Let people have options. But let's look at this in the bigger picture, and I do think cannabis can be different. I had this conversation the other day, is I think that we have the opportunity right now to have some sort of equity into our environment, in our life, social equity, not social equity in the programs I'm talking about like in life, like care about what we're working on. I believe in profit. We can't sustain without that. However, you don't have to cut people out. People have been working for businesses for 20 years, 22 years. They're getting ready to retire. They get fired.
Right.
So I just learned about these more in the past few years. And, as a business owner, it makes me look at it and go, oh, what kind of business do I want to build?
Right.
One with that team and that effort. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong, and I'm working on it. But I think that we can do it. I think we can stand in line, and I think we can put our money towards good things. When we're making money, donate it. If you can't donate your money, don't donate something else.
Right.
I mean, at the same time, there's a lot of cannabis industries making money now, and there's still people in prison, and they have kids. Right? And they have kids that need clothes or need Christmas gifts and stuff. Or there are people in prison that just need a letter. I think that, let's support those that are also supporting those programs because they exist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that if we just shift slightly and start to look at it a little bigger picture, I think there's room for us. I don't think we have to, I just don't think we have to, trip each other to move this forward. Because I think that tripping each other is what's really decimating this plant and why it's not further.
Oh, that win-at-all-costs mentality. Personally, I'm a big fan of, frankly, I love going to the bank, but I really love going to the bank together, right? It's so much more fun to go as a unit, to go as a team, to be in a place where, look, we all won, right? And it's interesting because, of course, this industry, as we'll say a mix of a green rush and at the same time a dang swamp for some folks, it's interesting the way it draws some people in. And again, it just brings me back to this whole theme of this call of, again, knowing good people, knowing smart people that can help you navigate, right? Because that's the thing.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's cool. Josh, Josh, I gotta get some video. I gotta pull up some of the video we have of Chronic. The reality is a lot of us have been working for a long time, and 5 years in cannabis, 6 years in cannabis is like 30.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Job, but what's really cool. Again, I told my friend the other day I was in Humboldt, and I was in this organic market, and just looking around, and all of a sudden I saw products, Empower Body Care, which is Trista Okel out in Oregon, and she was one of those old school,
right,
back in the day, plug-in, and it wasn't easy. I was just with Farmer Town the other day, same thing. These are, let alone the OGs that been in forever and ever. So, in the legal market, it's not been easy, and again, kudos to all of us who are still plugging away, 'cause it's not easy, and it's more important than ever, though, right? We have a serious opioid epidemic going on. We have serious health issues happening, and, most importantly, more than any of these businesses, is if we didn't have that plant, if it wasn't actually helping people, this wouldn't exist.
Right. Right.
Well, it wouldn't exist.
This
so
moment,
we have
the nature of a moment in time where you can kind of feel, right? Gee, it's not, I don't want to be melodramatic. I'll just say there's a good chance right now to kind of direct things to the better or to watch them maybe go other ways. And this is where, again, that you would take the time to inform and to share is something I really appreciate, just so you know.
Oh, good. Me too. Me too, because it's fun. This is fun. Really seeing commercials running and knowing the view rates now, I'm like,
right.
Let's have fun. Let's get these products out there, because that's part of the education. And if you don't know the cream exists, or the tincture, or the shop, or whatever, then you're not going to go. But when you do know,
right,
things change. And these consumers want it. They're looking. they're looking. I'm listening to people on the ground, and I do travel both sides on the B2B in the industry, and people on the ground that are going, oh my God, my hands hurt, my leg hurts, I'm getting this surgery. I was with an 86-year-old 2 weeks ago. You know, when I'm telling him about the cream and showing him videos, he's astounded. Where do I get this? They don't know.
Right.
They don't know, and everyone thinks because they're in the industry, as I say in quotations, it's not about the industry unless you're looking for B2B.
Right.
It's about reaching your client, consumer, patient, whatever it is. And if you have a product that can help them and you're not utilizing an advertising medium to reach them, shame on you. Seriously.
I dig it. Okay, so here you go. So I'm going to set you up for a close. We'll wrap this, and you're
Perfect.
awesome. So, so it is the Talking Hedge, your cannabis business podcast. We've been listening to Kerri Accardi. She works with 420 Media, but don't let it fool you. She also works with everybody. And if you need to know somebody cool, what you do is you check in with Kerri. Kerri, again, your business, it's 420 Media. How do I find you? What do I do?
420media.us is the website. My email is Kerri, Kerri, at 420media.us. It's Kerri Accardi, Accardi. So, you know, connect with me on LinkedIn or email, Facebook. 420_media is usually our handles.
All the tricks.
I'm around, and we're here, and we're really bringing, to be honest, some super high level production people and people that have built huge brands onto the team to help the cannabis industry step their game up. So, you know, it starts with the mind first. You got to believe it, right? If you don't believe it, you're not going to do it. If you don't believe something's worth $30,000, $5,000, $500, then, you know, you're not going to do it.
Right.
So when you see that value and you go, well, I'm spending this because it's a business and I'm reaching this.
Right.
And they're buying the products, you know, that's going to make you have more money. And so a lot of people have the habit of, I have no money. Oh, I'm going to wait on advertising. And it's like,
okay,
it's so counterproductive.
Right.
It's super counterproductive because value your time.
Oh, you know,
value our time, value our energy, value those relationships, and let people that know what they're doing help you.
Oh, the truth of, geez, I'm going to do nothing. Well, okay, then what do you expect to have happen? Right? Again, my answer is, you know, hey, let's go. Right? Let's go. Well, so, okay, well, this has been awesome. I know. Can we do this again sometime?
Yes, please.
Okay, and then from a production process, so I'll hand this off to the boss. So Supercron is my boss, okay? And then, and then, you know, he'll do a little disco and a little edit and all of that stuff. But we'll get this posted because I think, you know, one of the things that's very interesting to me is this. Again, actual expertise, 6 years in, 7 years in, real, right? And that whole thing where, again, you find a lot of newcomers these days, right? You don't find too many Kerri Accardis hanging around.
Yeah, because we made mistakes already. There's no need, you know, like, learn from us. Seriously, like, learn from us. Because if you hire someone because they're cheaper or something like that, but they're saying they're an expert and they're not, it's really going to cost more in the long run. And it gets to emotional stuff for people, too. This is a really interesting, you know, industry. So, you know, work with the people. And I recommend if we don't feel like we're a right fit, we do have a big network, so I have no problem recommending others that are better fit. That's what's cool with the distribution is we really have a lot of partners on it. It's not that's 420 Media per se.
Right. So really cool. You are more than you.
I am more than me.
I like it.
I like it. We're all more.
All right.